they take a loss at St. Louis on Wednesday, 2-0, and it was not as close as the score might indicate. But then they host Chicago on Sunday and get the W, 1-0. I happened to be watching the game on Sunday when they got the goal. It was just a counterattack, and then they were able to put it in.
I,
Surprisingly, it's the
I
first goal they've
also
scored for the new coach.
I also
That
want to say
took
this.
3 games.
I also want to say this. What time is it, by the way, guys? What time is it?
It's fuck
It's
John
fuck John Fisher
Fisher.
o'clock. Yep.
He was actually at the fucking game against Chicago. There's a picture of him there, and I was like, that makes me more upset that you were there. Just like, don't be there. Just go hide in your fucking hole and die. That's where I want you to be.
Take your fucking paycheck, your little options, cash options, whatever the fuck, however you squeeze the money out of this piggy bank called a sports team, man. Just go fuck off into the sun.
Godly. Anyways, I'm sorry.
All right, so that puts them up to 4 wins, two draws, and 16 losses for 14 points, dead last in the West. Their upcoming game is Saturday against Sporting KC. So Saturday the 13th, and so they have more losses than points. That's not good. Definitely not good. You get 3 points for a win in soccer. It's only 2 in hockey, so it's still pretty rough, even with the rare W. And the stands were pretty fucking empty. So
they were like god awfully empty. Yeah,
the Quakes fans are in agreement, like in solidarity, I guess, with the A's fans about having just a total shit incompetent owner, and they're just tired of it. It's like I see it I see the Reddit threads, I see the posts on Facebook. Yeah, that's one place. The Quakes do have their comments turned on, so if you're an A's fan, go over to there, go over to the Quakes and start chirping them there.
The Quakes fans that I've seen on Reddit are starting to build momentum on this whole sell the team thing on their retrospect. So, granted, same ownership, but maybe don't really appreciate or care for baseball. And it's fair enough. They got the Giants in the area anyway, so maybe a lot of them are Giants fans. But they are starting to build momentum on this sell the team for the Quakes. So I'm loving to see this community grow amongst the Reddit viewers on that site over there. So it's good to see.
I still find the morons that are, well, when they come to our town, it's gonna be different. No, it ain't.
No, it's not.
It'll be different for maybe a year or two
at most
to try to save face. But at some point, they'll be dog shit, and they'll be forever dog shit. And no matter how much money they're making, they ain't gonna sign anybody. It's John Fisher is the epitome of just a nothing burger. He hasn't done anything on his own. All his money has come from mommy and daddy and other people helping him make money. He hasn't done a fucking thing. Like, he hasn't created one thing. He actually ran the Gap into the ground. Remember in the 90s when he took over it and he changed the brand, he changed the logo, and then nobody bought it anymore. Then they had to change it back. They never fully recovered from that.
He's still running the other stuff down the ground. Old Navy is also posting negative numbers. Then Republic is posting negative numbers. Athletica is posting negative numbers. So, yeah, incompetence breeds incompetence.
No, he's not a good person. He's not a good businessman. He runs everything like this, and he runs it into the ground.
Yeah. Yep. All right, so let's move on to NWSL news, Tim. The next image.
Every time we talk about John Fisher, he's talking something else.
Are we good? Okay, cool. Yeah. So Bay FC took a loss, 3-0 versus the Washington Spirit on Saturday. And basically, the first 20 minutes is when 2 of those goals were scored. It was just, they were completely out of sync, just for whatever reason. They didn't get it together. And then from then on, they basically dominated the game. Unfortunately, they allowed one counterattack in the second half to get the third goal. But other than that, like, shots were being taken. Kundananji had one just miss the top corner. Like, there was just the final piece, the final connection getting the ball in the net, it's just not quite there yet. And I swear to God, I can feel it though. There's going to be a game sometime soon, after the Olympic break, that they're going to pop off for about 6 goals. Like I can feel it coming. Like it's just they're not missing by much, and they're getting closer and closer. And they're still in 8th place. They're still in the playoff spot right now. So BFC is going to make I'm think they're going to make a lot of noise in the second half of the season. As I said, right now there are 6 wins, 10 losses, currently 8th and final playoff spot in the league. They have Leagues Cup games coming against Mexico. And then the next NWSL game is actually in August. They're on the Olympic break right now. That'll be at the Utah Royals, August 23rd. One player transaction that actually has there's rumblings is Scarlett Camberos, who was like a top player for Club America in Mexico. She actually had like a stalker, and that's why she ended up getting traded to Angel City, and then BFC got her in the expansion draft that way. So that's how she ended up
Wow.
on BFC.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. It sounds like that situation may be alleviating, and so she hasn't been playing the last couple of games. So it sounds like she might be heading back. Like she's been spotted, like
She
in
hasn't
clothes
been
and stuff.
playing, so that way she's not recognized. Is that
No, she hasn't been playing the last couple of games to like save her from injury while they work on a trade or whatever to make that happen.
Okay.
I believe this is just like rumor mill stuff right now.
Got it.
But it sounds like she could be on her way back to a place that, other than having a stalker, she really enjoyed playing for. And she was wearing the number 10 down there, and she was, she had the armband on her there too, so she really enjoyed it there. It's just the situation for her safety, for her own safety, she had to get out. But it sounds like maybe they've kind of got it figured out, so they're trying to work on getting her back back down to Club America in Mexico. So that's when if and when that does happen, that does free up some more money for BFC to maybe find another impact player to try to get the last push for the playoffs too. So
Nice.
we'll see how that goes from here. Still, one more note on NWSL. They announced that the championship game for the league will be held at CPKC Stadium in Kansas City on November 23rd. And so this is they do a neutral site for their championship games. KC might be in that championship game. So
Oh wow.
and it totally makes sense. This is the first stadium that was built specifically for women's sports in America. In North America specifically, like not just USA, Canada as well. So and it opened this year, so that's why it's happened. Like the writing was on the wall. The it only holds about 11,000, 12,000 people, so it'll be a pretty expensive, pretty pricey ticket to get a hold of. But that'll be a really exciting time to kind of show off a phenomenal smaller stadium that is specifically focused for women's sports, and it's going to be quite a landmark achievement for the league to have their championship game hosted in that stadium.
Nice.
And when I saw that was happening, it made me wonder if there was any news on BFC and their pursuit of their own like soccer specific women's stadium as well. Oakland, San Francisco, and San Jose all are interested in trying to make that happen, but there's no movement recently as of anything I can see.
I will say winning breeds a lot more excitement too.
Yeah,
so,
totally. Yeah.
Unlike how they used to it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I like that. I like
Yeah.
it. I do hope they get a stadium soon. It's refreshing to see. You've got the WNBA and the Valkyries coming up soon. They don't have their own stadium, but they're going to be playing where the men play. So a lot of pipeline in the Bay Area of women's sports just keeps growing, and I love it. So
yeah.
What I don't love
on Fisher.
All right, let's throw up the next image, Tim.
I've been refreshing my phone.
All right,
all
let's go.
day, and it has been happening.
Not yet. No news yet. Just like rumblings of a possible meeting. But Team USA lost in the Copa America tournament. We were talking about it last week. It was happening while we were broadcasting. They ended up losing 1-0.
You know what's frustrating about this whole thing? The
Shame.
1-0.
Shame.
Berhalter, you could see him on the sidelines during the game, like my 70-year-old grandma trying to figure out technology because he's got an iPad, and he's fighting with his assistant / our ex head coach of 7-8 months ago on this stupid iPad because they're watching another game. Then Berhalter puts his hands up to tell it's a draw from the other game. All you have to do is either draw this one or win.
And then literally 2 minutes later, that's when the goal gets scored by Uruguay. So
what coaching are you doing?
Yeah, no,
hey, half-ass it, and we've got this.
Go for the win. There was still like a half hour at least in that game, and this is like, if you can encapsulate just one reason why he needs to be fired, it's that, because he was, instead of worrying about handling his own business, he was like, "Oh, it's 1-1. It's 1-1." To the players, there's pictures of him on the sideline going 1-1. So it's just it's unfortunate, man. Like it's
like, I don't know what's more incompetent, FIFA as a whole, or the U.S. committee on figuring out how to navigate this national
US
team.
committee. It's the U.S. committee, but also, to be fair, Christian Pulisic is the only top line talent like on the team. Like everybody else, they're like playing in Europe, but they're they're not like super top flight like impact player in Europe.
Yeah, I mean,
they're
Balogun is probably on his way up there, but he's still so young.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
And Balogun's not going anywhere. Like he changed to USA. He used his one-time change to come to Team USA. So
I would also argue that Dest is a game changer, but he was hurt. He had towards ACL.
Okay, so. Yeah, Tyler. I mean, there's a lot of really good players who are like solid contributors to teams in Europe where the best leagues are for soccer.
But I would argue like Dest is better than Weah for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And yeah. Tim Weah, what are you doing, man? Like we
let me punch you in the back of the head.
Yeah, he like just like, you're supposed to be a veteran.
But is that not the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree as Berhalter being your head coach? Like,
yeah, I
you
think
lack
so.
the discipline of what your head coach tells you, and
yeah,
that's what you breed out. That's what you brought out of your player.
To compare it to American tackle football, typically speaking, the worst teams in the league are the ones that get penalized a lot too, just because there's a lot of lack of cohesion and just not good coaching. So mistakes keep getting made, and it works across many sports. If you keep making mistakes, you're going to keep losing. You're going to keep blowing it, and this is self-inflicted, man. This is
Well, I agree that there was some controversy around the ref, and especially that last game and the ref previously. But at the end of the day, you got to go out there and deal with what you got to deal with, right? Like, who cares if that ref is not favoring you on calls? It sucks. But guess what? They didn't put the back of the net on a penalty shot because of you. Like, you are the reason why you didn't win. Not the ref was the reason why you didn't win. And it shows, man. And I really hope Berhalter isn't here by the end of this week. But, the incompetence of the U.S. committee, who knows? I don't even know if their incompetence is enough to attract a coach. Like, what were we saying this week? What were we saying that was the pipeline, the dream to have him come coach here after he retired?
Jurgen Klopp. Yeah.
Like,
so
even if it's just flub, to get people excited. I don't even know if he's excited to want to coach a team knowing that the committee is running this.
No, yeah. So I anybody who's floating the name Jurgen Klopp out there is dreaming, and they're smoking something, and I want it.
Yeah.
I know a guy.
Yeah, exactly. Just for Copa America in general, we got Argentina playing Canada in the semifinals on Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Colombia and Uruguay are playing on Wednesday, and then the winners will play on Sunday in Miami at 5 p.m. The losers of those games will play in the third place game, Bank of America Stadium. I believe that's Minnesota, right? Yeah, on Saturday at 5 p.m. So,
hey, look, we lost to Uruguay. They barely beat Brazil. It took penalty kicks. So, hats off to them. I hear I'm bashing my team, but let's be a sportsman about this. But Uruguay played their ass off, and they won that game fair and square. So I'm not gonna knock them on that. And they did a good job beating Brazil. Which, God, Brazil, man, I don't. What a fall from grace as a country. Like, it's when it comes to their soccer team,
right.
So I hope better days for Brazil and for Brazilian fans, because they are lunatics when it comes to their football team. So
yeah. Okay. So there's Copa. Just real quick, I'm just gonna go over Euro 2024 is also gonna wrap up this weekend as well, also on Sunday. But so Tuesday at noon Pacific time, Spain and France are gonna be playing. Wednesday at noon, England and Netherlands are gonna be playing. Winners will meet on Sunday in Berlin. So and that game will also be at noon Pacific time. So and these games are all happening in Germany. So yeah, England is, like, despite their best efforts, they're still in the semifinals.
yeah, man. Hey,
despite their worst
that
efforts.
was
Yeah.
that last game was whew, it was on pins and needles. I think they didn't score till like almost like the 80th minute or 86th.
Yeah, and then they ended up winning in the shootout too. So
the Three Lions live for another day.
yeah. France barely squeaked by on the shootout as well against Portugal to get to the semifinals. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And Ronaldo
was crying.
He was all sad.
Yeah. Well, he did miss a great opportunity. So
yeah, he did. Wow. Okay. All right. So there is your footy update.